Ever notice that when some people start drinking, they just drop their social filters? I don't know why that is. Maybe it's to make room for more alcohol. This guy, he was trailing social filters like breadcrumbs when he walked up to me. And he asked me the wrong question. What am I? What am I? So I'm not even a person? I'm a thing? I'm a human being, just like everyone else. No, not what are you? What are you? He pointed to his tight leather pants and his puffy white shirt with his plastic hook hand. A pirate, he said. He crooked his hook over at his polka-dotted girlfriend. She's Minnie Mouse. Slutty Minnie Mouse. Slutty Minnie Mouse, he said. So, what are you? I should explain. It was Halloween. Of course it was Halloween. Halloween is transgender get out of jail free day. This was October 31st, 2014, and I had admitted to myself that I was kinda, sorta transgender-ish 6 months earlier, and I was still getting used to appearing in public as a woman. I had gone out on occasion with others in the trans community to transgender-friendly places like gay bars and other gay bars. But this was the first time I'd gone out as myself, by myself, in a non-guaranteed safe venue. Granted, it was the home of a friend of mine for a Halloween costume party, but it was still a little bit nerve-wracking. I was still trying to figure out where I was on the gender spectrum. Or at least that's what I was telling myself at the time. But that was not true. There was nothing to figure out. I wasn't kinda, sorta anything. I was transgender. And I've known that since before transgender was even a word. But there's a difference between knowing something and admitting it. And there's a difference between admitting something and accepting it. It had taken me 50 years to get to the point where I could say that I was transgender. And although I had yet to get to full-on acceptance, I've come farther in the past 6 months than I had in the previous 5 decades, so I need to go easy on myself here. Now, dressing in women's clothing is not a fetish or a costume, but simply a more accurate representation of who I am as a human being. That much I knew. But I was still dressing as a man 12 out of 14 days at this point, and I was beginning to resent that. Resent the people and the circumstances that I was convinced were keeping me from being who I really was. And that included my own family. And that's no way to live. Anyway, back to the party. So, I knew I wanted to go dressed as a woman, but not the woman that I was, even though that was a woman that very few people had ever seen. Got it? So, dressing in women's clothing is not a fetish or a costume, but I could still wear women's fetish clothing as a costume. So that's what I did. I put on this tight, shiny vinyl skirt and black seamed lace-top stockings and the highest heels I could wear, which admittedly weren't all that high, but still. Plus a ripped Doctor Who t-shirt, fingerless lace gloves, a spiky red-haired wig, a motorcycle jacket, and these enormous boobs that I bought used. I bought used boobs. Well, no one buys them new anymore. Well, they lose half their value the minute you get them off the showroom floor. These only had one owner. A little old tranny who only wore them to brunch on Sunday. They still had that new tit smell. The outfit was a success. A friend of mine who had never seen me dressed as a woman before came up to me and said, "I am disturbingly attracted to you." Okay. I'm justifiably appalled by you. The party had prizes for the sexiest costume and the scariest. I won both. I looked marvelous. I felt marvelous. But like the pirate asked, what was I? I realized I hadn't thought this fully through. So I made something up on the spot. I'm I'm every bad decision that my daughter could ever make. The drunk pirate nodded his approval. And I learned a lesson. Not every question is an attack. Not everybody has an opinion about me and my gender expression. Most folks are just trying to get through the day as best they can and really can't spare a thought about who I am or what I'm wearing. And this guy, he was just asking a perfectly legitimate question under the circumstances, and it wasn't some sort of rude inquiry into my gender or sexuality. And then he said, "So, are you gay?" I said, "Yes, I'm gay. I like women," which is a half-truth. But the whole encounter brought up a question that I had been asking myself my entire life. What exactly am I? For the answer to this and other questions,